Good afternoon, everyone. It's August 19th, 2025. I'm Eric. So, I've been absent a couple of weeks. Don't really need to get into the why. Personal problems. So, there's some tons of shit we can talk about. We can talk about the whole Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump thing. We can talk about all that shit. But I'm going to talk about something else today. I don't have any video clips. Every time I try to use them, apparently the sound isn't coming through. On my end, before you start recording, you can test to see whether or not the computer sound is coming through. And each time this has happened, the test came back just fine. And when I started recording, the sound from the computer, meaning video clips, was blank. So I'm not really sure what that's about. So today's video is not going to have that. I chose a background, just a random video. So anyway, if you still believe that one party or the other is any good, does good, has good intentions for the citizens, you're a retard. If you think Donald Trump is any good, has any goodness within his soul or heart, you're probably a retard. And likewise with the other side. If you think that Democrats do anything good for you at all, you're a retard. You're fucking stupid. Really, really stupid. And what's really troubling to me is these people out here, influencers, they proclaim to have high IQs. They love their virtue signaling. Oh, obey your local laws. You mean the same people who participated in locking you down, obey them? The same people that arrested mothers at baseball games for not wearing a mask, obey them? Really? See, we find ourselves in a situation where we have clear proof that the governments of the world, not just the United States government, all of them, have intention to kill you in cold blood. So, my problem is when people talking about these elections, my problem is people still relying on shit like the court system. People still relying on on law enforcement who clearly takes their orders from someone that doesn't like you very much. Now, recently, I went to county jail. And it wasn't anything serious. And my neighbor and I were arguing, and he started screaming at the top of his lungs. He got irate. And there's a baseball game going on right across the road from us where a sheriff's deputy was sitting. Well, of course, naturally, the sheriff's deputy had to come and put her big-ass nose into other people's business. There was no violence. There wasn't even any cussing. But she came, and she started trying to throw her weight around like she was special. And I'm to the point where I'm just not going to tolerate it anymore. So I didn't cooperate at all. Matter of fact, I darted off and made the deputy chase me around my yard. I did it for fun. And finally, I was like, okay, I'll let you arrest me. In a really sarcastic kind of voice. In front of somewhere around 30 people. So I humiliated this deputy. She tried throwing me to the ground multiple times and couldn't do it. But to be fair, there's been large men deputies that's tried to throw me to the ground and couldn't do it. But nonetheless, she failed miserably in her ego. Her ego told her that she was going to come and crack down on these two people for having the nerve to argue. And instead what happened was she got humiliated. And yeah, I do have to go to court, but I view going to court as yet another opportunity to humiliate that deputy. And I'm going to. So, while I was in the county jail, I was there for 12 hours. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what you do to get there. It could be next to nothing. And them people are going to still treat you foul. They are dead inside. A lot of them, you can tell, they have a very, very miserable existences outside of their job. So when they come to work and recognize somebody is smarter than them, has a better life than them, they take it out on you in every way they can. They refuse to answer questions sensibly. And then when you're sarcastic with them, they want to throw their weight around. And the thing is, if these people were confronted alone, most of them would be afraid because they don't have the other 6 deputies behind them ready to pounce if you get the better of the attacker. Nobody that works for the state or federal government or your city or at the courthouse, any of that, none of them are good people. They are all participating in some way in the enslavement of their fellow American. Now, back to what I was telling you. These people, influencers, virtue signaling. And, keep telling you to be obedient to the laws. And again, these laws are created by people who have very bad intentions for you. And that's proven. There's no question at this point from anyone that doesn't carry bias for authority. Or perceived authority. So anyone who doesn't believe in any of this shit, that's what it is, shit, can see the obvious evil of the Republicans. It's fucking obvious. It's naked evil. And likewise, if you don't see the evil in the Democrat or the leftists, you're a fucking retard. The Republicans do a little bit better job of hiding it than the Democrats, but it's still fucking blatant evil shit they're doing. So now we find ourselves in a position where we're literally competing for electricity against the AI data centers. Now this hasn't hit my area yet, but I've seen a couple TikTok videos of people talking about their bill doubled because they're having to pay for the electricity these AI data centers are taking up. And not only do they have to pay for it, but they have to accept that sometimes those data centers are going to need more power, and your power is going to be shut off, but hey, pay this fucking bill anyway. Donald Trump is not a hero. He is driving the final nails into the coffin of what was America, the United States. Not that I hold any special regard for the United States or the government or the people. I honestly don't. I honestly don't. To be honest, I don't feel at home here. I don't like most of the people here. definitely don't connect with most of the people here, or even relate in any way. Just because they happen to have the same body structure as I, live in the same geographical location as I, doesn't mean I give a fuck about them. I don't. And the reason I don't give a fuck about them is because they participate in an evil system. They support an evil system. They vote for the criminal politicians. And with each vote, they further enslave us. Each time an election is held, the voting public gives consent to be enslaved. They give consent for the government to do things that are opposed to your personal survival, are opposed to the survival of your children. They attack us in every way imaginable. And again, this should be very obvious to everyone at this point. I mean, come on. COVID, Operation Warp Speed, and what really kills me about all of this is the fucking people who went against Operation Warp Speed, didn't like it, didn't take the vaccine, some of them anyway. They didn't learn anything because they voted for the very person responsible for implementing Operation Warp Speed. So I can't feel sorry for them in any way. They didn't learn their lesson. And the lesson should have been clear to everybody. Their intentions should be clear to everybody now. Even if you're not a person who, attempts to keep track of all the current events and all the shit going on, even if you're not one of them, like myself, it should just be obvious. All the way down to your local sheriff's department. Again, some of these sheriff's departments participated in forced vaccinating children with Down syndrome. They were involved in ejecting concerned family members from hospitals during COVID, where their relatives ended up being murdered by the hospital. They did that. And much worse. They participate in the child trafficking. Is that every single deputy or every single officer? No. No. but even the ones that don't participate in it, they still know about it, and they still say nothing. They still do nothing. They still arrest people for the most minute bullshit while giving the pedals a fucking free pass. I mean, this problem with these pedophiles isn't just in Washington. It's all over the place. And this is the worst evil there is. Ignoring all these problems and letting them go unchecked, undealt with, is evil. It's just as evil as the people doing it. You people out there that vote for these sheriffs, these prosecutors, judges. I'm not sure who all you vote for, but there's a good bit. You are complicit in their crimes. And some of these Christians will point the finger at me and tell me how sinful I am, while at the very same time supporting Israel's actions in Gaza. Where, by the way, a lot of your law enforcement personnel are trained. Now, there's still a couple of nonviolent solutions. One of them being, you don't cooperate with anything. You don't pay your taxes. You withdraw consent to the system. And you do that by how you spend your money. You don't comply with mask mandates and lockdowns, which, by the way, are going to come back under your beloved hero, the orange retard himself. You know, the known Jeffrey Epstein associate. You voted for that. You voted for orange retard. And now they're claiming that inflation is lower. It's not. All the fucking prices in the store are still very, very high. Shit, I went to the Dollar General like 4 days ago and bought maybe 8 items. And it was fucking $65. A little more. So, and then the gas prices haven't fallen. And I live in a place where gas prices have been pretty decent in comparison to many other states. That's probably why all the retards who've destroyed their own communities are moving here to destroy mine. Which they've made rent skyrocket, just all kinds of shit. Got the roads clogged up. Now we're having to pay for the roads being widened. Because we don't have the infrastructure here to support the amount of people that's moving here. It's ridiculous. All the states for example, I've been seeing a lot of Texas plates. I'm like, well, I thought you people in Texas loved Texas. What the fuck? Why are you coming here? So, yeah. I have no special love for the people of the United States. I don't feel any type of loyalty toward the people of the United States. I don't have respect for the people of the United States. As a whole, there's individuals that I do, but as a whole, as a culture, as a society, no, I have no love for you. And the reasons are very, very clear. I'm just being honest. I really, really believe you people to be utter fucking retards. And don't get it twisted. It's not just the American people. It's the people of the world in general. The shit we put up with is unacceptable. The shit that's been done to us is unacceptable. And the only people I have any respect for are the people who have stood up, disobeyed, and are willing to go to any lengths to rid ourselves of these parasitical Jews and politicians, a lot of which are Jews. So, you can get pissed off and write all the nasty little comments in the comment section you like, but the fact of the matter is, if you voted for either side of the aisle, you are stupid. If you voted for either side of the aisle, you gave consent. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed because you walk around talking about you're awake. You recognize the Matrix, but yet you continue to play the games of the Matrix. You're neither high IQ or awake. Yeah, you might be great at math. You might be able to remember all the countries. You might be a fucking doctor, but all you've done is memorize a lot of misinformation. That's it. And that goes for everybody, the general public. You've memorized a bunch of misinformation. Now, I'm not going to sit here to pretend that I know everything about everything and I have all the information. I don't. That's why I don't believe anything. That's why I don't hold beliefs. Because all of our information is told to us by somebody else. I'm not going to build a belief system on what somebody else tells me. That's not rational. I'm not going to obey laws I had zero say-so in. I'm not going to respect an officer who treats everyone like shit because they're an officer. And they think they can get away with it. And anybody who supports any of those things are fucking retards. Plain and simple. You're not high IQ. You're not rational. And when you virtue signal, when you tell everybody about your good works, you are doing the exact opposite of what Jesus told you to do. You're supposed to do that stuff privately. You're supposed to pray privately. Your works are supposed to be kept between you and the person or group of people that you've given aid to. You're not supposed to brag about it every day. So anyway, that's my video for the day. I've just gotten to the point where I can't stand it here anymore. I can't stand this planet existence. No, I'm not suicidal. And as far as helping other people, you can't help them. You can't. My recent problem with my neighbor is proof of that. You can't help people. And I think that's unfortunate, because I'm a person that actually likes to help others. But if you're a retard and you buy into the system and you're obedient and all that, man, I really can't respect you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do help people. I just do it in a different way. I'll give you an example. This old lady I know has her autistic grandson living with her. And his TV broke. I dug up a TV for him so he could play his games. Imagine being autistic and having your shit crap out on you like that. It would suck. But I'm not gonna put my neck out for other people. I'm not, if I see you getting beat up by the police, I'm not gonna do anything for you simply because I know you wouldn't do it for me. There was a time where I would have came to the rescue of somebody in those circumstances. But after COVID, it's just not in me now. I don't give a fuck. After all the nasty shit that was said, after all the Karen enforcement of arbitrary rules, after all that shit, no, not doing it. I want nothing to do with people at all. I don't like interacting in the public. I go to the store, hurry up and get my shit and get out. And I try not to talk to anybody while I'm there. And I don't know who is who, you know? Who are the Karens that raised hell about people's masks? Who are the cops that abuse their authority? Who are the doctors and nurses that murdered people in the hospital. And they're still coming after us. And all people want to do is the same old shit. The same shit that got us where we are, the same shit that got Operation Warp Speed in the first place. You don't want to stand up, take the risk of being killed. Meanwhile, they're poisoning your food. Meanwhile, they're poisoning your water. Meanwhile, they're poisoning your air. And you're being killed anyway. Only you're being killed with you on your knees, sucking them off. Till next time, kill the state, live free.